Previously on the Seventh Valkyrie, Meridia follows Val through the new city where security is getting tighter by the passing day. What will happen as she confronts Val about his decision to assassinate the High Commander? Find out now on the Seventh Valkyrie.
Sort of inside information on his schedule and when he'll be vulnerable, cause then— Stop, Val! Despite the false wolf's cold gaze, Meridia continued. I asked before and you weren't listening to me, so I'll ask it again. What the fuck are you saying, Val? You drop 4 lines on a piece of paper, and you expect me to come over here and help you assassinate the ranking official in Reen? He's working with the Machine King, Meridia. What, you think I just decided to go kill him for no reason? I saw him in person meeting with the Jackal last night, and they were talking about their plans for the bridge, for all of these men. I'm not really sure what else you need to hear from me. Well, some of those details are relevant when you drop a bomb like that. Now, if you could give me just a second, a day to follow up and verify, we could— Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense. The false wolf continued, cutting her off, still completely immersed in his train of thought. I can get in here and move easily because I'm Edoran, and I've been working inside the Edoran military for years. I know how things work here and people don't look twice at me, but you think a dozen X's could just saunter in here without someone knowing about it? In that prison break, he sent the Jackal at his own men, Meridia, and last night was just confirmation. This all sounds fucking crazy, Val, Meridia said. You asked me to help you hunt the Machine King, but that doesn't mean I'm just gonna fucking drop everything and kill the goddamn High Commander. The atmosphere changed, and the false wolf looked at Meridia, and slowly turned, stood, and began to walk towards her. His voice was low, and his breath heavy. But Meridia resisted the urge to take a step back. I saw more than 100 innocent people die on the word from the Machine King. Men, women, and children slaughtered in cold blood for nothing, just to make a point. Who knows how many more in the other attacks? I mean, fuck, how many of your comrades died in the prison break, Meridia? Val, you know that's not what I'm talking— No, I don't want to hear any bullshit about loyalty or orders or what you think being a good Light Corps member is all about. I'm gonna give Krona what he deserves, and I will kill anyone who stands in my way. By now he was standing almost toe-to-toe with her. Does that include you, Meridia? Does that fucking include you? With a burst of energy, Meridia shoved him back with 2 hands. Will you let me fucking finish? She said. His eyes were cold, but he made no move towards the knives at his side. Meridia crossed her arms, and then stepped forward. Sit the fuck down. Now, Val, sit the fuck down. I knew you were mental, but you're threatening your biggest ally in the city, who you've known for less than a week, for asking for proof. The false wolf held her gaze, then went and sat down, mumbling that his 2 biggest allies were actually in the hills north of town. Meridia let that slide and took a deep breath. I have been chasing the Machine King for years. Do you think I don't want to see him get what he deserves as much as you do, no matter what it takes? He started to speak, but she cut him off this time. No, you're gonna let me finish, motherfucker. You can kill the goddamn commander if you want, and honestly, a little part of me wants to help you and see you try. But do you really think the commander knows right now where the Machine King is? Yeah, not so fun being interrupted. Do you think you can just go up and beat it out of the commander? Or that if he's dead, he'll just have a slip of paper in his desk drawer saying, "Oh, this way to the Machine King"? No, of fucking course not. You kill him, you're killing your leverage and your best lead, and then we start again from step 1. and all of a sudden we've made Edera furious, and we have no new information from that big gamble other than what sounds the commander makes when he dies. And again, believe me, Val, I would love to know what sounds he makes when he dies, but is that really the information we're gonna blow all of our opportunities on?
The false wolf crossed his arms, and then he stood up, but he went over to grab his whetstone and one of the improvised blades, a worn-out kitchen knife that he had resharpened.
I've been successful this far, just beating and torturing my way up the chain. Why fix what isn't broken? Because the Machine King is different than some small fry you can just beat information out of. Take it from someone who's tried already and has actually succeeded in getting closer than you are. The only way to find people like him is to flip your way up the chain without letting them know. The Machine King is the most careful, well-informed crime boss that has ever existed. God, we were getting close. Why didn't you just fucking listen to me? You had one job.
For a moment, the only sound was the gentle shk of whetstone on blade. Then, the false wolf put up the kitchen knife and started on another, an old, rusty, military-issue hunting knife.
I got my hands on the jackal, Meridia. I had him, literally in my hands. You tell me that you could have resisted that opportunity, and I'll apologize to you right now.
Well, he got away, didn't he? Meridia said. The false wolf whipped over to look at her.
Yes, and did you learn anything of value from the jackal? Did you try to track him to where he was going? Let him lead you right to the Machine King? No, you probably jumped in and fucking swung your sword around like you think you really are the Iron Wolf. And now, you and I have nothing except for your fucking plan to kill the commander. Fucking hell, Wolf watch over us, we are fucked.
Val's fists clenched around the knife, and the sharpening stopped.
Oh, I get it, sure. I've seen dozens of people do it. You think you're so close to Krona, and then you blow it and he disappears. Game over.
Meridia could see the knife shaking slightly, but she continued.
Now, fortunately, you have had something different going for you. You've got the one person who got closest to tracking him down in Mandus, and if it wasn't for the Light Corps promotion, then I probably would have found him.
She could hear the false wolf breathing heavily. His eyes were closed, and she could see him shaking his head over something, but she had to beat into his head. She had to let him know what they were dealing with, that he couldn't do this kind of shit again.
You don't get it. You don't get it, Meridia. Oh, so you think you can do better?
Meridia said, raising her voice as much as she dared.
You found a potential traitor. That's great. It was the very least you could do if you're going to blow our fucking cover. But now Krona knows we're on the way. And you're telling me that you're going to kill our last lead and the commander? Do you have no plan at all?
The false wolf looked away from her, but in his hands, the blade started to bend under the strength of his grip. When the handle cracked, he snapped out of his daze and dropped it to the floor. After a moment of staring in silence, he spoke again.
You don't get it, do you, Meridia? I thought this before, but you've never really seen the ravages of war, have you? You didn't see the twisted and charred and dismembered bodies in Mins. You didn't see the atrocities in the war.
He turned to her, meeting her eyes.
It's easy to talk. It's easy to talk when all you've ever known is peacetime. I can see it in you. You told me that story about the Iron Wolf saving your family. But you got out after that, didn't you? You had one night of the war, and it ended in a happy ending. Oh, your family was safe, and you had a new hero to worship and model your whole life after. Thank the wolf that you were saved in the nick of time, am I right? Meridia was silent, and the false wolf looked out into the night sky once more. I've seen what happens when it's not a happy ending, Meridia. I've seen what happens when I don't get there in time. When I'm not there to protect people. When I don't get to share the happy ending. When a mother and father are slaughtered in front of their children, and the entire family is left burned alive. When all that's left is the dog, barking and crying over the broken bodies of their masters. I've seen it over and over and over again, not just in the war, but weeks ago, Meridia. It still burns in me. I still feel them. So forgive my impatience. For a long while, Meridia was silent. And then she spoke. You're not the only one who has a reason to chase him. He's not just some trophy to me. I've seen people slaughtered on his orders too. Men, women, children, all innocent just like yours and Min's, just like the people from the war. Trust me when I say I want to kill him just as badly as you do. Then listen to me, Meridia. Stop this fucking puzzle game and fight with me. No, that's not how you'll find the Machine King. The commander is complicit, Meridia. He's out there, and he's walking around free, and you're telling me that I should just sit by and let that happen? We need to take this into our own hands. If we don't, who will? The sound of Meridia's fist against the wall behind her surprised both of them, but Meridia recovered to speak. You think you're a one-man army, don't you? You think you're better than everyone. Fuck, I bet you believe you really are the Iron Wolf. Well, let me break it to you, Val. Everyone needs help. Everyone. And if you think you don't, then fine. You can take your mission and shove it up your fucking ass. If you can't accept basic help from someone who's risking everything for this mission, then fine. I'll let you hurl yourself at the commander, and you can die doing it, you sad son of a bitch. And me? Well, I'll just keep chasing him like I always have. He had returned his gaze to the broken knife, and after a moment, he stood and walked towards her. But instead of trying to intimidate her, he instead walked past her, back to the other side of the bell tower, looking towards the bridge and the old city. For a while, he stared out into the night, and then without looking away from the sky, he sighed. The Freelander Festival is happening tomorrow night. I overheard the Jackal and the commander talking about it. I think something's going down there. I had wanted to stop it before that happened, but you're right. The bastard commander is the only lead we have right now. So you'll hold off on killing him? I'll wait and see what happens tomorrow night. If we've got leads the next morning, I'll consider following them. And what if we don't? Then I'll take my chances, with or without you. And after that, there was very little left to discuss. Want to know what happens next? Join us on Patreon to become a hero of Edera and get early access to episodes along with bonus features, director's commentary, and the full Tab to Archive. You can also find other ways to support us at the links in the description, and we will see you next week.